Touch is a really good game to play with your dog, especially if they're anxious like Stan. It's a really good game to get them to pay attention to you, especially in a distracting environment or somewhere where they're nervous. It's a fun game to play, so it builds their confidence. And it can also be a way of recalling too. So you want to start in your home or somewhere super quiet, preferably inside because it's going to be easier for them, unless that's where their anxiety is. And you start by making sure that they're hungry, so do it with their breakfast or their evening food. And then you want to get a piece of food in your hand. So have a treat pouch with a variety of food in there, some boring stuff and some really tasty stuff. And start with the boring stuff first, because we're in a low distraction environment. So we don't need the highest value food. And if you use the highest value inside the house, then it's not going to be as effective outside. I put a bit of food. Very good, Stan. I put a bit of food underneath my thumb and just hold my hand out. Yes. As soon as he touches my hand with his nose, I mark it with a yes, and then I release the food. Yes. Do this for at least 5 to 10 rounds. Yes. Before you move on to the next stage. And if at any point you move on to the next stage and they're not getting it, and this goes with any command that you're teaching, literally just go back a step. If that doesn't work, go back another step. Yes. Okay, now the next step is to hold your hand out without any food in it. Yes. And then you're going to feed directly from your treat pouch. So empty hand. Yes. Mark as soon as he makes contact, and then feed from the center. Yes. Yes. Trying to find the ones that he likes because he's very picky. Yes. And that's it. You have to bring food out that your dog likes, not that you want them to have, because especially for anxiety or fear, same thing really, good. You really want something that's going to get their mind working, that they're really motivated by. If you just got like regular old kibble that they don't like, then it's really not going to work. Yes. Think of it like this. If I offered you £5 to wash my car, you'd most probably say no, thank you. Yes. But if I offered you £1 million, you might consider it. I don't know about you, I would. It's the same thing with dogs. You have to make sure that you have something that they want. Yes. Okay, let's move on to the next stage. Now we're going to put the word touch in front of the action. Touch. Yes. Everything else stays the same. Marking as soon as they touch your hand, and then rewarding from the middle. Touch. Yes. The touch has to come before the action. Touch, hand, yes, and feed, and not at the same time. Wait for him to chew this. Like this. Touch. The reason why we don't do the word and the action at the same time is dogs learn physically and we want them to learn with a sound. So the sound has to predict the action. I don't know if you've heard of Pavlov's theory with the dog, and he rang the bell and he showed them the steak. There was no conditioning when the steak was shown at the same time as the bell. So the word has to predict the action in order for them to know what it means. Touch. Yes. Otherwise, you're always going to have to do the physical command of touch, i.e. putting your hand out. So, for example, you might think, well, you're getting them to touch your hand anyway. What's the point? It doesn't really matter. But if you want touch to work as a recall, when they have their back to you or they're around a tree and they can't see you, then it's not going to work because they can't see your hand. Touch. Yes. That was a bit of a treat, a bit of a cheat, Stan. You didn't really touch there. Let's get a bit more precise. Touch. Yes. I mean, you're going for my thumb, but it's in the general direction. Touch. Yes. Right, now let's take it outside. So here we are outside in a much more distracting environment. Not a lot of dogs. In fact, there's only going to be one dog, and it's coming up, walking behind the red car behind us. He notices it, and then he lets out a bark when it comes out the other side of the red car. Instead of asking him to touch in this situation, because that's far too hard for him with a trigger right in front of him, I just throw food on the floor. Now, I don't want to keep repeating him barking at a dog and then me reacting by throwing food on the floor, because that's going to be rewarding over time. But in this instance, I just did it to distract him from the dog and bring his focus back on me. Now here, I'm not saying touch because we're in a new environment. We built that up in the house, but in this situation, I'm just putting my hand out, waiting for him to touch, and then yes, I'm rewarding. If he's not doing that, and he's not on several occasions, instead, I'm not repeating the word, I'm not saying the word at all, I'm just putting food in my hand and holding it out, which is the first step of teaching him touch. So if he can't do it without food in my hand, I just take it back a step and put food in my hand and just wait for him to give me the attention. If he's really looking the opposite way, I put my hand in front of his face and show him what I want. So we're taking it really slowly because this is a high distraction environment. Even though there are no dogs around, which is what he's triggered by, I can see by his body language how animated he is. Even though his tail's wagging, he's not necessarily happy. He's a little bit overstimulated. So I want to take it nice and calm and slow and keep it short.